Good morning, everyone. We've got a full agenda, so we're going to get right to it. First is a call to order, and the time is 10:34 on Tuesday, May 28, 2019. A quorum is present. Yesterday was a very memorable day and holiday for the United States. For some people, it's a day of celebration, the end of summer or the beginning of summer, but it's also a day to remember our war dead. Well, in conjunction with that, last week or the week of May 12th to the 18th, Governor Abbott declared a Peace Officers Memorial Week. So we honor our war dead, but we also have to honor our law enforcement dead, those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our public safety. Soldiers have times of incidental combat. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short. But a peace officer is every day, 24/7, 7 days a week, 20 years, 22 years. It sort of never ends. PTSD is not just for soldiers. PTSD is for anyone who's suffered a traumatic event. And the frontline officers that we have and the things that we're seeing and the things that we are trying to combat in this agency lends itself to extreme situations. We have a TCO here who, through her own courage, I think saved a lot of lives. So with that, I'd like to recognize that we've lost 2 agents in the history of this agency. Delbert Pearson was a 21-year veteran at TABC when he was shot and killed while staking out an illegal whiskey operation in Clarksville, Texas. Joseph Cruz had only been in the agency for 9 months when he was killed in a head-on collision while on duty after doing an inspection. I think sometimes it's easy for us to forget that our peace officers are in harm's way the moment they step out of their front door. Agent Pearson and Cruz represent the very best of this agency. They embody the idea of selfless service, and they'll forever be memorialized by this agency and by the state. They're in their gratitude, and they're the gratitude of all of our enforcement officers, all of our agents. And frankly, everyone who comes to work every day. Because you are all public servants. Consequently, as serving citizens of Texas, everything you do is important. And everything you do adds to the public safety of our state. So, with that, we would like to present the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise?
Post. Post. Break over. What are you saying? Hold it. Ready? Place.
Please take your seats.
Sir, we have Director Kirkendall
1 second. Do, my fellow commissioners, do you have any comments?
Just want to echo your comments and just say that I'm eternally grateful for their service and their sacrifices and all of what they've done. Thank you.
You're here, well said. All right, so, please.
Good morning, Chairman Lilly, Commissioner Sneed, and welcome, Commissioner Boatright. My name is Victor Kirkendall. I'm the Chief of Law Enforcement for the Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission. And it's my honor to turn around privilege to introduce our Guard team, which you just saw posted colors today. We got some pictures here, so you can reflect on those while I talk about them. TABC's Honor Guard team was created with the primary duty to render final honors for certain current or former agency peace officers, employees, executive staff, or former commission members at the request of their family members to provide comfort and support to the family members of those fallen as to reassure them that their loved ones are remembered. Other duties will also include representing the agency at special functions deemed appropriate by the executive director. Currently, our Honor Guard team consists of 10 agents who went through a selection process consisting of an application and interview. The agency flag that you see before you today that was posted for the first time in this room was an ideal brought forth by the team, and the final design selection was facilitated through an online survey of all the employees within the agency. The uniforms that you saw wearing, being worn by the team, were carefully chosen with the input from the team, and were tailor-made to fit the agents on that team. And the M1 rifles, which were supplied by the U.S. Army through their ceremonial rifle program. I would like to point out, though, we didn't go out and buy a band. All we did was market the band that we currently have for the Honor Guard. The Honor Guard's first event was the Texas Peace Officers Memorial at the State Capitol on May 6, 2019. The Texas Peace Officers Memorial was established into Texas law in 2017 during the 85th legislative session. This year, officers and state officials recognized 13 fallen officers who died on the line of duty in 2018. TABC's Color Guard team marched in a procession up Congress Avenue to the Capitol prior to the public address by Governor Abbott, and the recognition of those officers who died in the line of duty in the past year and their family members who were in attendance at that event. And as Chairman Lilly previously stated, TABC does have 2 officers which are memorialized at the Texas Peace Officers Memorial located in the northeast portion of the grounds of the state capitol. As you can see in the picture before you, there's the pictures of both Delbert Pearson and Joseph Cruz memorialized on that wall. The agents who participated in the event were extremely honored of the agency's effort to stand up the Honor Guard team and allow them the opportunity to participate in a way never seen before by our agency. We are very proud of their service and the reputation and respect that their efforts bring to this agency and its employees and families. Now, those are the questions you may have, sir.
Outstanding job. Excuse me, that's great. Really outstanding. Sharp uniform design, everything is just excellent, right? I mean, that is a source of pride for this agency, and I hate to use the term branding, but I can't think of anything else, but that certainly enhances our brand in a great way. So thank you for them. By the way, they don't get paid more to do that. If you've ever served on an honor guard, that is an honorary thing to do, and they're doing it for the love of the agency, and so they're to be lauded for that effort, as well as Captain Alton, who's heading up our honor guard team. I know you're looking for 10 more, so hopefully we'll get that done. The next agenda item is approval of commission meeting minutes of March 26, 2019. So moved. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Steen. The minutes are approved as written. Please present our vote to the record. All right, now we have another outstanding opportunity. I will now administer the oath of office to TABC Commissioner Jason Boatwright. Why don't we, let's see, why don't we go down here? Come on with me.
Yeah.
No, read that. You're outstanding. Your bio. Most of it's true. Okay.
Where do you want, Chairman?
How about right here? This is great. You want to get right between us and you can face me and you can get over here. By the way, I always view that these, these kind of become perfunctory, but I view them differently because we're swearing and affirming. We're not just kind of doing anything at our convenience, right? I mean, this is an oath. And I think people take these oaths for granted, but I know in your former capacity, especially as a justice, that you know what this means and you can appreciate this probably far greater than I. So please raise your right hand, sir. I, Jason E. Boatwright,
I, Jason E. Boatwright,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Commissioner
the duties of the Office of Commissioner
of the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission
of the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission
of the State of Texas.
State of Texas,
I will, to the best of my ability,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
obey,
obey,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state.
the Constitution and laws of this state and of the United States. So
help me God.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and.
All right.
Oh, we got
I'm
it.
sorry.
There we go.
Okay.
Get out of jail free card.
No, it's not.
There you go.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you all very much. Such an honor and a real pleasure. Look forward to working very hard, trying to do the right thing. Thank everyone here for your service and interest and hopefully your help as I go along. So thank you.
Hey, sir, Chairman, can I get you to stay down here for just a minute?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So on behalf of the governor, to recognize TABC for 100% participation in their human trafficking training.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. I'm going to read a little bit about Commissioner Boatwright's past. Commissioner Boatwright is a partner of the law firm of Canty Hanger LLP in Dallas. Previously served as a justice on the Texas Fifth Court of Appeals. He's also served as chief of the Attorney General's Opinion Division, director of the Texas Railroad Commission's General Counsel section. In his free time, Commissioner Boatwright researches and writes about Texas constitutional law and legal history. He was born and raised in Austin, now lives in Dallas with his wife and baby daughter.
She's 3.
Awesome.
Not really a baby anymore, I guess.
Yeah, well, I still call my 18-year-old baby.
She'll always be that.
Commissioner Jason Boatwright, appointed by Governor Greg Abbott on April 2019, with a term set to expire November 15th, 2023. Yeah. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Well, we just did the Governor's Human Trafficking Awareness Training recipient. Thank you, General Nettles. Next agenda item is recognition of ports of entry employee chief rank.
Good morning, Chairman Conley, Commissioner Steen, Commissioner Boatwright. Welcome. For the record, my name is John Rainey Jr. I'm Chief of the Port of Entry. This morning, I'm honored to tell the Commission and the public of a methamphetamine bust that we had at Laredo Port of Entry. At 10:25 p.m. on March 17th, TABC Regulatory Compliance Officer Esmeralda Belize was working the Laredo bus terminal when a male subject approached her and declared 9 40-ounce bottles of beer. The customer handed Belize one bottle and said the others were in a case that was x-rayed and had already come through U.S. Customs. Ms. Belize stated that she noticed that something resembling crystals inside the bottle, which caught her attention. She showed the bottle to a customs officer who contacted his supervisor, and a drug sniffing canine was called to the scene. Canine alerted to the containers, and the customer was turned over to U.S. Customs. After field testing the substance, it was determined that the beer containers contained 11.4 kilograms of methamphetamine with a street value of $500,000. So Ms. Belize is here today. We'd like to recognize her for a job well done.
Why don't you read this?
Okay, I see your bio. to read too.
Okay.
I'll read the bio first. Ms. Belize was hired by TABC in September of 2014. She has worked as a regulatory compliance officer in Laredo for 4 years and 8 months. Prior to working for TABC, she worked for the City of Laredo Bridge System as a toll collector. Ms. Belize stated she enjoys assisting taxpayers in explaining liquor laws regarding allowable importation limits. This gives her the opportunity to interact with people and make a positive impact in their lives and hopefully leave a positive impression of the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. Ms. Belize enjoys making a difference by being courteous and informative to any taxpayer. She believes her job is important because she is the first state employee that a customer encounters when they enter the state of Texas. She feels it is important for customers to leave the port of entry with a great experience. She stated she works hard at being a professional at all times, communicating well with customers, and having a great outlook on life every day. Ms. Belize's supervisor described her as dedicated, a professional, knowledgeable, and having a great work attitude every day. She is a leader and has been used to train new employees at the Laredo Port. Recognition of excellence. Esmeralda Belize, Regulatory Compliance Officer, Laredo Ports of Entry. On this 28th day of May 2019, for superior performance of duties and outstanding service to the people of Texas and the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, for the initiative to carry forth the safety and health vision of the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission on March 17, 2009. Signed by Commissioner Boatwright, Commissioner Steen, Chairman Kevin Lilly, and Executive Director Bentley Dennis. Congratulations. Well, I have a chairman. I'd also like to introduce Port Supervisor Raul Garza and the Southwest Regional Director or Manager, Eddie Torres.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Great.
For those of you who have not been to witness or view our port of entry operations, it is in many cases, a job that doesn't have a lot of recognition. It's hot. Go to Laredo in July and see what they do. And for this initiative to be taken, it proves that one person can make a difference. $500,000 worth of methamphetamine seized because of her watchful eye. So congratulations to you. Congratulations, gentlemen. and to the entire agency on an outstanding job. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next agenda item is recognition of retirement of Innovation and Technology Director, Jay Webster. Gentlemen.
Sir.
You want to come down?
Sure.
So I'm going to read Jay's bio. It's amazing. Jay was one of the first people I met when I got here. And we have certainly some big shoes to fill. Jay's been with our organization for 39 years. I asked him if they actually had computers. So Jay began his career with TABC in January of 1980 as the agency's first computer programmer. During his career at TABC, he held positions of programmer, system analyst, project manager, information resource manager, and most recently director of Innovation and Technology Division. Over his career, he has directed or managed numerous information technology initiatives, including the migration to IBM mainframe computing, the introduction of desktop and mobile personnel computing, the development of internet access throughout the agency, transformation to our Versa regulation, and online licensing solution, and the transition of server support to the statewide data center services contractor, which was, we write a big check to them.
Yes.
I know that. During his 39 years at TABC, Jay has represented the agency on numerous statewide IT task forces, steering committees, and advisory boards, including serving 6 years as the treasurer for the Texas Association of State Systems for Computing and Communications.
That's a mouthful.
It is. Thank you for your service, Jay.
Thank you,
We have
sir. Thank you.
some trinket for here. Let me give you, so this is my coin for excellence. Appreciate all your hard work.
So let's just so everyone, hold that coin up. Okay, do y'all see that coin? Here's my coin.
You just need 39 more years.
That one's this one, which is even larger.
So you'll have to present this.
Okay, great. But my hand's not big enough. No. Thank you, sir. Well, thanks very much. Seriously, I'm really sorry to see you. Well, we're gonna be good. Great. That's a weapon, actually.
So we're going to present Jay with Certificate of Merit. Certificate of Merit is presented in recognition of over 39 years of dedicated unselfish service to the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission is proud to present this award for outstanding service, signed by Kevin Lilly, presiding officer, Ida Steen, commissioner, and Bentley Nettles.
How about his family? Yes.
So we do that. We'll do that
I
next.
think your
Thank you,
family
sir.
was-
So you want to present this to the governor?
Sure. Greetings to John J. Webster. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement after 41 years of service to the people of Texas. Public service is an honor for its foundation is in the public trust. Daily, state employees earn this trust, demonstrating dependability, initiative, and wise stewardship of public resources. Their endless dedication highlights that this state's greatest asset lies with the people who call it home. First Lady Cecilia Abbott joins me in sending best wishes for an enjoyable, fulfilling retirement. Sincerely, Greg Abbott, Governor. Thank you, sir.
You know, bring your family up, say a few words.
Come on up, gang. How are you? It's my wife, Lisa. Lisa? It's my daughter, Kendall. And we left the grandbaby. Okay, great. Let's get a
Family time. Yeah, come on, everybody.
The car's just going to automatically go to the office.
you like to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm gonna miss you in this place.
Congratulations.
Thank you for
So you're
sharing
over
with
the
us.
hour. For about 30 minutes. So
Anyway, thank you, first of all, to the leadership. I can't do this position and what I did for as long as I did without very good leadership. That includes, the general, the executive staff, Matt, my immediate supervisor, of course, all my friends and directors. We've had a good run. Those of you that have been around a long time, you know what we've been through. The industry folks, we've seen a lot of change. You know what it was like back in the day when we had, very little automation, and we brought this agency along. It's been 39 years, so we went from really no computers to where we are today, and I am just so happy that we are going to take it. Greta is going to take it to the next level for taking this agency where it needs to go, and that's replacing hopefully every one of the systems that I had some part of doing. I don't care how quickly you do it, but I know it's time that all these systems, it's time to put them to bed. That's why they're called legacy. It's time to, put them aside and bring in some new technology. But it should be exciting things. It's going to be a lot of work over the next 2 years, unless you get a reprieve and get a little bit more time. But I don't think that's going to happen. So you better spend it all while you got it. But I'm here to help any way I can. It's just, this is a great agency. It's always been my pleasure to do what I do. It's help the customers. So thank you. Thank you. Jay, you know what it is. Thank you.
We'll now be in recess for 15 minutes for reception for our honored employees and our new commissioner. Time is 11 o'clock. All right, we will now reconvene. The time is 11:16. Next agenda item will be an update on the TABC Agent Academy. Director Rodriguez.
Yes, good morning, Chairman Lilly, Commissioner Steen, Commissioner Boatwright, and welcome. I'm Albert Rodriguez, the Director of Training, and today I'll be providing a brief update on the Agent Training Academy. That's the session at this time. It's Class A 2019. Class A 2019 started on March 31st with 18 agent trainees, and presently in attendance is still 18. So we've been fortunate that we still have the same number. There's 4 females and 14 males. Today is the start of their 9th week of the 11-week training period. Contemporary training is provided throughout the duration of the academy, with emphasis placed on professionalism, customer service, and public safety. Some of the courses that they go through is the agency's policies and procedures, the alcoholic beverage code, which is quite lengthy, roughly about 68 hours, arrest and control tactics, formerly known as defensive tactics, active shooter response, firearms training, including both pistol and firearms and rifle, and investigation of financial crimes. We also have extensive training on undercover operations and 21st century policing response to resistance, commonly referred to as use of force. All topics are presented are customized to TABC's specialized police role. Upon graduation, 2 trainees will be stationed in the Lubbock region, 5 will be going to Arlington, 6 to Houston, 3 to the Austin region, and 2 to the San Antonio region. Graduation is scheduled for June 14th, 10 a.m. Camp Bakery. To date, it's been a great class, and all 18 of them are expected to graduate. And let's see, what you see here is a photo of their long rifle training at ACC indoor range. And of course, we utilize this photo because a lot of them will go into undercover, and we didn't want their faces shown. So I'll answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Director Rodriguez, thank you. Next agenda item will be an update on the TABC Transformation Initiative. Ms. Mosley.
Good morning, Chairman Lilly, Commissioner Steen, Commissioner Boatwright. How are you all?
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. I am Retta Mosley, Assistant Director for the IT Division, and have the privilege of introducing to you all the TABC Transformation Initiative for the Technology Modernization. Last summer, as part of the legislative appropriations request, TABC inserted a request for 2 exceptional items for this technology modernization. And we asked for that to address and replace multiple legacy systems that we have that are either at, near, and some end beyond end of life. Also to automate mission critical processes that are done manually right now, and to eliminate duplicative workloads. In order to maximize our efforts in the upcoming biennium, in this fiscal year, we've been actively working through the many technical and business requirements needed for a successful kickoff when September does roll around. Doing this much preparation in this fiscal year will help the agency to move forward with its future-based vision in a timely manner. The future-based vision includes added value and performance for the agency as a whole, enhanced customer service for the industry and citizens of the state who might access our website, for instance, and enhanced employee efficiency through the technology modernizations that we're bringing in. While there are many, many benefits that we hope to extend to the agency and to the industry, the 3 most notable ones that we wanted to point out to you today is there will be better informed decision making, and that's going to be through the data analytics and business intelligence that we are already adding and will continue to add throughout. Improved agency responsiveness. What this is going to do is where we take out the duplicative work, the data entry, and instead let the staff focus on anomalies and outliers where they can look at the more advanced work. And improved work definition, which again will be throughout the agency. Every major project is going to touch every system and division within this agency. And I'll just run through those with you right now. Licensing, excise tax, labeling, port of entry, self-inspections, a new public website, case management for audit, for enforcement, and for legal, cash credit law. And underlying all of these is going to be an enterprise data solution that is new, as well as a new enterprise content management system. The last thing I want to introduce to you is branding for it. The agency created this to ensure a consistent, cohesive, and professional look and feel whenever it communicates internally and externally about this initiative. And I was happy to use the word branding earlier, so I was like,
It's okay.
bought right in there, right? And so I want to
It's
give
a
us
good word.
it is, thank you. Special thanks to Chris Porter, the agency's public information officer who designed this logo for us. With that, that concludes my very quick remarks. And
Chris,
happy
you
to answer
designed
questions.
this? Yes, sir. Outstanding. It looks great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great
Commissioner, do you
report.
have any questions?
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Really well done.
No.
That's awesome. Okay. Next agenda item will be an update on the TABC compliance reporting application. Chief Jones.
Good morning, Chairman Lilly, Commissioner Steen.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Chief.
All right. Thank you. For the record, I'm Dexter Jones, Chief of Audit and Investigations Division. Today, I will present a very brief update on the compliance reporting application. Late fall 2018, the board considered and approved Rule 4122, which requires all industry members to use the compliance reporting application to self-report an annual compliance inspection report. Mandatory reporting for all industry members will begin September 1st of 2019. And industry members will have a 90-day compliance period to report from September 1st, 2019 through December 1st, 2019. To get the industry ready, the agency initiated and launched phase 1 of the application as a voluntary reporting period for retailers, which began on March the 8th. Phase 2 is currently being developed and includes the following features. We will have an expanded capacity of the app to enable wholesalers, distributors, and suppliers to complete the annual inspection report. It will also include a language interface that will enable the report to be submitted in Spanish. And we will also have placeholders to accommodate other languages as we move forward. An automatic in-app survey will enable the commission to obtain feedback from users about the application. And finally, the app will allow administrative users of the app to have one email address that will enable the users to connect all of its business entities as opposed to a one-to-one email relationship per business entity. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize and give thanks to many team members that have helped us develop this project. Chief Kirkendall, Gene Bowman, Todd Talley, Laura Sanchez of ITD, Rhoda Mosley, as well as Agent Nicole Lane. With that, that concludes my brief presentation, and I'll take any questions that you may have about the application.
Well, looks official.
You know, this is great stuff, because this allows our constituents, which happen to be businesses, to do their job quicker and to be able to get in business faster, which means what? More employees, pay more taxes, pay more fees, and everybody wins. So this is outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
Well done. Good job, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. Now this is something special. As you guys know, we launched, gosh, a year ago, discussion of the dreaded sunset bill, the decade-long preparation and execution to allow the legitimacy of this organization to exist and make changes where they need to be changed. It's a collaboration, as you know, between government as well as industry members. We have industry members here. And it was an exhaustive process. The amount of work that went into this is just beyond, I mean, it's beyond the scope of anything I've ever experienced in the past. So the next agenda item will be an update on the impact of appropriations and sunset bills. Ms. Morlock, Ms. Cardona.
Good morning, Commissioners and Chairman. My name is Mary Morlock. I'm the Director of Communications and Government Relations, and I have some good news. We're going to be getting about $16 million.
Yeah, it's not just good news, it's great.
With the caveat, the governor still has line item veto.
No, we know that. We're not celebrating yet.
But assuming there is no veto involved, we're going to get $16 million. And 37 FTE. So it is phenomenal. Just to put it in perspective, in the last 5 sessions, the agency has netted almost $9 million and a loss of 61 FTEs. But we're going to get 16 million and 37 FTEs. So that is phenomenal.
So wait a minute, say that, I want everybody to hear that.
Get this one in the
18
minutes,
years,
In the last
8
5
million,
in the last 5 sessions, so 10 years,
5 sessions, okay.
we had a net increase of about 9 million and a loss of 61 FTEs.
Right. So everybody, is that soaking in? That this is huge. This is really huge for the agency. And, you know, all of you all did such a great job. Where's Nick? Wave your hand. Nick, stand up and be recognized. This tall guy did a lot of work too. So, and General Nettles, I don't know how many days you spent at the Capitol, but you've gotten to where you can walk around there blindfolded.
Well, and I
Way
think
too
we
familiar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for all your work.
Oh, I just like hanging out at the Capitol. I've got nothing else to do. So, actually, you had to shut me up. I think I was trying to make it worse, but it's just fantastic. Really, what you guys have done. Really, great job. Anyway, please continue.
Well, we'll touch on a couple of things that, okay, well, hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Sorry, thank you.
Are you 21?
Right. It's sunny day. Party continues.
That's legal whiskey.
Public safety technology. So Rita commented on several of these through the technology modernization project, but public safety technology, 2.5 million to FTEs over the next couple of years. That impacts enforcement, legal, audit, several divisions, licensing and tax technology, licensing tax as well as BOE, border security and public safety. Big price tag on that one, 5.6 million and 29 FTEs for human trafficking. Now, it would primarily be spent on agents, but not solely. It could be spent on whether it's some type of training for industry, legal. I can get you a PowerPoint, sir. You don't have to take a picture with me.
I'll lose it.
We have ways.
I know. This is
Yeah, I know, that's.
Employee retention plan was added as one of our exceptional item requests after the Sunset Commission made their decisions about what to do with us going forward.
it's gonna be my screensaver.
Excellent, I like it. And then CAPS, which is very important to get that money, and that FTE is relating into the transition in July. And I want to say a personal thank you, kudos to Vanessa and Tiffany and Paula for deciphering the puzzle that is the appropriations
Oh, yeah.
bill. And then also a thank you to Nick. He started January 2nd and hasn't stopped. And so I look forward to working with him. I think we make a great GR team. And then thank you to leadership. I know you spent several hours, days, almost a month, I think, at some point with us. We drug you everywhere, but you did a great job.
I think of nothing better than to have lunch at the Capitol Grill House. One of the finest establishments in Austin, that's for sure. The hard-boiled eggs are phenomenal. Down the bowels of the Capitol and wait for 6 hours for me.
Now for the other Herculean effort.
The other great job, yeah.
This year, I think it'd be appropriate to recognize our industry partners that were down there
Yes.
helping us also.
Yeah, thank you, guys. You know, the general and I and, our government affairs team, we beat up on senators and representatives and we go down there a lot but they hear that a lot, right? I mean, every time we walk in to a senator's office and meet with the chief of staff or meet with the senator, we're just in a long line of other agencies that are asking for the same thing. When industry gets involved, that takes it to a new level. They expect us to always ask for more. But when the industry that we're helping to regulate makes a phone call on our behalf, all of a sudden these senators wake up and go, okay, it's not just speak. It's not just the standard rhetoric that we get from agencies. So you guys over there, guys and gals, we really are grateful for your support of this agency. We could not be here without your help. So we really appreciate it. Thanks for coming today.
Good morning, commissioners. Welcome, Commissioner Boatwright. I'm Amy Preventive, the Director of Policy and Performance, and I'm here to provide an overview of some of the major changes you can expect to see resulting from passage of the TABC Sunset Bill, which passed Friday and is about to be sent to the governor. And like Marianne said, we're still in the veto period, so nothing's final, but it's still important to talk about. And the bill is House Bill 1545 by Representative Patty with Senate sponsor Chairman Birdwell. And I just want to kind of provide the background that I think you all know this already, but this bill is a culmination of almost 2 years of hard work by TABC staff, by Sunset staff, the Sunset Commission and their staffs, as well as the Texas legislature and industry partners as well. And it started with TABC's submission of the self-evaluation report back in the summer of 2017. And it continued with the Sunset staff review between April and October of last year, report publication in November, public hearing and decisions by the Sunset Commission in December and January. And then, of course, the legislative session that we just concluded yesterday. So it's been a long process with a lot going into it. And so I also want to point out that this bill, I checked this morning, and this bill is 325 pages, and it's second in length this session only to the General Appropriations Act. So yeah, there's a lot in it. So just to go over some of the, I'm going to try to be brief, but there's a lot in this bill, so I'm really trying to hit some of the highlights. Very importantly, the bill continues TABC for 12 years until September 1st, 2031. It also adds 2 new members to the commission, and the governor has until December 1st of 2019 to make those appointments. That's the deadline for that. There are a lot of changes to our licensing and permit structure. And overall, I would say that the bottom line of this is that industry will be able to do the same things they do now with fewer permits and less red tape. So just to give you some examples, we're going from 75 permits and licenses down to 36, although I understand that the legislature added 2 new permits. I think we'll be sitting at 38 when it's all said and done. We have 2 deadlines for this. One is September 1st of this year. And what will happen then is that 14 obsolete and unnecessary permits and licenses will go away. The most significant example of that is the state will no longer require separate licenses for agents. And agents are essentially, we're not talking about our TABC agents. I'm talking about folks who work for the wholesalers and distributors, their drivers, those sorts of folks. They're already working for a permanent entity, so the legislature decided that that was an unnecessary regulatory group. And then we have a slew of other changes that will be effective September 1st of 2021. Just one example of that would be the consolidation of beer and ale. And right now that's a legal distinction in the code based on alcohol content. And when that goes away, that will help, again, to minimize the number of permits and licenses that a business needs to do their business. And it'll also have the impact, a number of other impacts, but one is that it will apply a single tax rate to all malt beverages. So that's what they're going to be called now, small beverages in the code. And about half of the bill is to make that change to the code. So it's all malt beverages going forward as of 2021. And so it will apply a single tax rate to all malt beverages, and that will mean fewer reports that industry has to submit, fewer tax reports, and then fewer reports that we have to deal with on this one as well. And there are other changes that come with that, but I think I need to be brief. So another category of changes that you'll see that will have an operational impact for us is the bill streamlines the license and permit application review and protest process. Right now, we have two different paths depending on if you're a beer application or something else, a liquor and ale application. And right now, there's two different processes in statute. This bill will combine that into one, so it'll make it easier for us and easier for industry to understand as well. It will also streamline the label approval process. So right now, we have our own state level review process for malt beverage labels. And what the bill will do is it will require the use of the federal label approval, which is known as the certificate of label approval, to approve malt beverages for sale in the state. And we anticipate that this will help to take some of the time off the label approval timeline. Hard to say how much, but we think it will help. Also wanted to point out the protest changes I talked about. That takes effect December 31st, 2020. The label changes take effect December 31st, 2020 as well. I did want to point out that some amendments were added to the bill that didn't have anything to do with our operations or the sunset review. And the one that got the most news coverage was the approval of beer to go. So breweries will be able to sell beer for off-premise consumption to the consumer, limited to one case per consumer per day. I also want to, there's a lot more detail to that, but just I didn't want to throw too much at you today. So I also want to point out that these changes will not, like you'll hear about a lot of these things, but they don't actually take effect right away. So we do have some things that take effect September 1st of this year, but then we have another slew of changes that happen in December, January, happen at the end of 2020. And then the final deadline is September 1st, 2021. And that's because of the significant nature of the changes that we're talking about and the implementation effort that we're going to undertake pretty soon. Also want to point out that a lot of these changes are going to result in rule changes. And so you'll see a lot, there's going to be a lot of rules that come before you in the next couple of years. So it'll be pretty real in that sense. Yes. And yeah, I think overall the aim of the bill was to modernize and streamline the alcohol beverage code to make it easier for us to administer, easier for industry and the public to understand and navigate. And I think it's a challenging but exciting couple of years to be at TABC.
Congratulations.
You know, if and I'm sorry that I'm going to bring this down to a level of baseball, but it's the only thing I can think of. In 2017, the Houston Astros made a strategic decision to bring on a guy named Jason Verlander. Hasn't been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Because of that, they were able to make it to the World Series and win the World Series. Now I'm going to compare you to Jason Verlander because we brought Ms. Cardona to the TABC specifically because of her expertise and experience in dealing with sunset issues. And so I am absolutely convinced that your hire and your presence and your professionalism allowed us to get through this process as relatively painlessly as possible. So I want to thank you and everyone involved for the great job that you guys did. So. Now we're going to start talking about ERAs and things like that. So, but please continue.
Just want to touch on a few bills, because there actually was a few other alcohol bills besides that monster that she just talked about. So I'm just going to touch on a couple of them. Again, the governor does veto power. The first one, HB 1443 by Sophronia Thompson, ST, encourages cities and counties to quickly process a potential application once they receive it. They encourage that it be done within 30 days, which doesn't impact us directly, but anything that helps to speed up the process is great for the state. HB 3754 authorizes a city or a county to contract with a third party to collect licensing fees. So basically, they're able to get a certain percentage of the permit fee that they have to pay us. And when that business doesn't pay it, they are allowed to now go out to a third party and try to collect those fees. And then currently, the next bill, SB 1232, right now, an on-premise wine and beer retailer, so think restaurant, can deliver beer to consumer. Senate Bill 1232 allows them to deliver ale and wine as well. And then Senate Bill 1450 creates a new permit, like Amy mentioned, and Clark's going to talk about that in more detail in a minute. And then the last one, HCR 168, which HCR is House Concurrent Resolution. This did not pass, but of course, when we put this together, it was moving through the process. It made it through the House, but didn't get through the Senate, I think primarily due to timing. Just literally ran out of time. But it encouraged it directed the agency to conduct a study on control labels and to provide a report back to the leadership by September 1st of next year. So in advance of the next legislative session. So it did not pass, but I do think because it came out of the House that it really sets up a good foundation for an interim charge. So something that the Licensing and Administrative Procedures Committee can discuss in the interim before the next session. Excuse me. And just like in the past, we will be putting together a presentation of all the bills that did pass that impact the code that can be used for industry, for our own folks. We'll do presentations to our employees so that they know what bills impact their lives, not just the alcoholic beverage code, but there are other codes too. And from HR to contracting, a lot of different bills that will change the way that we do things and make it better. So, do y'all have any questions for me, for Amy?
Just say thank you again. Job well done.
Thank you. So, no more questions, we're adjourned.
You're All right, so thank you. Next agenda item will be an update on the Walmart litigation. Mr. Smith.
Morning, Commissioners. All right. Y'all are familiar with the Walmart litigation. Commissioner Boatwright maybe hasn't caught up to speed yet, but I want to give you all an update because the Court of Appeals arguments were held in New Orleans a month ago. I was able to attend. This is the culmination of what might be the most impactful litigation the agency's faced in several years.
He was able to attend because he took his own time and paid his own way.
Duly
So
noted.
we did not violate the rider.
Duly noted. Well done, Clark.
You really have to twist my arm to get me to
Go to New Orleans. Exactly. Right.
In part because of how impactful the implications are for us. The court extended the argument time. Typically, you're going to have 20 minutes per side. Because the Texas Package Stores Association intervened in the lawsuit, or think of it as sort of a co-defendant, the court expanded it to 30 minutes per side, which is unusual, but again, it highlights, I think, how high profile this is. We had an absolute fantastic counsel, John Sullivan, the Assistant Solicitor General, arguing on our behalf. Three-judge panel, Judge Haynes, Graves, and Davis, all distinguished judges, and all were very tuned in and invested in the case of documents. There's two main pieces of law here. They're all in chapter 22. First is the 5 permit consanguinity exception, and second is the public corporation ban. Almost all of the argument was devoted to the public corporation ban, which frankly is the more impactful of the two sort of buckets of laws in issue. More to come. We should have an opinion, I would think, by the early fall. Fingers crossed. And then, as Directors Cardona and Morlock were indicating, we do have the legislature take it 35 permits, and they created a couple more. A very, very interesting development in the consumer delivery world with the creation of the consumer delivery permit. This has been an issue that's been sort of unaddressed in the last several years simply because the code doesn't give us clear authority to regulate delivery, which has become an enormous part of the consumer experience for alcohol beverage here in the state. There's also inconsistent delivery authorizations, as the directors were indicating. So currently, right, the law as it stands right now, mixed beverages and wine and beer retailers aren't allowed to deliver, except the BGs can deliver beers. Well, that separate piece of legislation that cleaned it up for the BGs. But there's still, again, overall sort of an inconsistent approach. The main concerns, obviously, from our perspective, are sale to minors and sale to intoxicated persons. What this legislation does is help address all of those. So this allows a retailer to contract with an entity that gets this consumer delivery permit. The retailer itself can get the CD permit if it chooses. And that authorizes then the permittee to deliver the alcohol directly to consumers. It instructs us to develop a training program for certifying the drivers to deliver on behalf of the CD permittees. Drivers have to be 21 years of age or older. And then it also instructs us to set out guidelines for what a CD permittee's software system, what it has to follow, what are the minimum requirements, et cetera. You also anticipate some rulemaking in the next coming couple of years to sort of codify what the legislature's instructed here. Can you field any questions on it? Thanks.
Thank you. And I would assume, Chief, that there will be opportunities for us to do some sting operations to see how efficacious our training programs are with these drivers. Absolutely. I mean, as we've all talked about, we're big believers in promoting capitalism and businesses, but when it falls into issues with public safety, and those two issues of intoxicated persons and sale to minors are a major issue with this rule. So it's going to be incumbent on us to sort of, tighten the hatch, as it were, to make sure that this is done properly. So thank you. Okay, next item is executive session. The commission will now go into executive session under Government Code 551.071. Regular open session, Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission will be in recess. The time is now 11:48. Tuesday, May 28, 2019. And this will not be a long executive session. So. 28th, 2019. The time is 12:11 PM. Next is potential action on items discussed in executive session. We have no action to be taken. Next, public comment.
None.
Having heard none, the next announcement is the next meeting date, which is scheduled for Wednesday, June 26, 2019. Ma'am, sir, any problems with those dates?
No, I appreciate you all doing that for me because I'm the one that couldn't do Tuesday.
No,
It was during Wednesday.
we're good. All right. Commission is scheduled to meet Wednesday, June 26, 2019. All right, next is adjournment. The time is now 12:12 PM. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We are adjourned.